Good morning. This is Jacob here with another episode of the Let's Get to Business podcast. Honestly, it is kind of moving a little bit away from a typical podcast, simply because I love to do videos, and I feel like when I speak to a video, it feels like more real. For you guys that are listening on the app or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, feel free to check out the Facebook page, Let's Get to Business with Jacob, or my YouTube channel. I believe my handle is at I Like Roofing. Just to be completely real with you guys, I don't have a studio. I don't have anything fancy here, but I wanted to just record this in the truck. Now, one of the things that I will say is, like, if you have a message to share, I believe that it's important that if you have something of value that you have to share, like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you feel like God has laid something on your heart, or if you feel like you have some value, or you've got some great content of some sort, share it. Don't overly worry about the surroundings. Like, I'll be honest, I know how far from perfect this video is. I know how far from perfect what I'm sharing with you guys is or how polished it is. But it's things that I've been inspired with, and I just want to be real with you guys and say, look, this is the deal. This is what I want to share. And I don't have any fancy equipment. I have very basic equipment for my podcast. And I am working on setting up a studio and all that good stuff. But until that happens, I am just doing it in my truck. I do it in my former office, but we sold that piece of property, and we now have a different piece of property where I don't have an office yet. So just working on building that up. But so if you got something to share, just share it. Don't overly worry about perfection. And so today I want to talk a little bit about something that I think is really, really important, and that is change starts from within. One of my recent episodes, I talked about be not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's actually going to kind of play into this a little bit. And so in Mark 2, verse 21 and 22, it says, "No man seweth a piece of new cloth on an old garment, else the new piece that filled it taketh away from the old, and the rent is made worse." And then verse 22, "And no man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred. But new wine must be put into new bottles." So oftentimes in life, we go to events, we go to seminars, we listen to a video, or we hang around somebody who inspires us to act better. So we make these great big plans, these great big goals, and this huge vision of how we want our future to be. The problem is that we are still the same person. Without changing our identity, without changing who and what we are, we cannot change our future. We first have to change who we are. Fundamentally, we got to change our very mindset, our philosophical standpoint to life, our mindset. Our mindset has to shift before we can accomplish those goals. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have those goals. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't want that for our future. It just means that if we want to accomplish that for our future, then we're going to be very intentional about our mindset. We're going to be very intentional about who we are as a person. Like my thoughts, my skills, who I am at the core. Like, what do I truly believe about something? If I believe that if I want to be a millionaire, but yet I believe that money is evil, I'm going to have a very, very difficult time to be successful financially. And even if I believe that money is evil, I'm going to have a very difficult time to stay away from just being broke all the time. And I think it's one of the most important things that we can, actually, I shouldn't say that. It is a very important thing. Jesus, in the Bible says, you must be born again. Now, my thought was, okay, like, what does born again mean? And people are talking about born again and born again and born again. And what is born again? Well, I looked it up. Now, born again means to be renewed from above. It means to, it's about a mindset shift. It only talks about it twice in the New Testament, about being born again. Now, it is important, but it only talks about it twice. And it means to have a mindset change from above. That's what it's talking about. So I believe that when we have a mindset shift, until we have a mindset shift, we cannot transform our life. We can't be born again, so to speak. And so I think it's very important that we realize that we have to have a mindset shift. And in order to do that, it takes a couple things. Number one, it takes a decision. We have to choose. We have to decide. When Jesus wants to come into our heart, he's not going to force his way in. And all of life works like that. If we truly want to change, if we truly want to have something different, if we want to have a mindset shift, it has to come from a decision. We have to choose to be uncomfortable. We have to choose to put us out of our comfort zone. And I'll be honest, there's things right now that I'm working in. Like, I feel like I've got such a long way to grow, so much to grow, and so many areas to improve. But I think that we have to be willing to do that. We have to be willing to become uncomfortable. And when we stop becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's when we stop growing. So it's very important. We must start that mindset shift in order for us to change massively. In order for us to accomplish those big goals and those big visions that we have, we must be willing to read those books. We must be willing to hang around people who will help us to develop a better mindset, a better philosophy, a better philosophy of life. I absolutely love, if you're looking for a mindset shift, I'd say listen to Jim Rohn. Like look at his stuff on YouTube and read his books and listen to John Maxwell and get a better mindset shift. Become who you really want to become. Become the type of person that will help you get to your goals, that will allow you to get to your goals. And this is something I'm speaking not just to you guys, but I'm also speaking to myself, because I know how much I got to go. I know how far I still have to go. And I think it's very important that we're very conscious of this fact, that our mindset has to shift, that our thought process has to shift. If I need to be aware of the fact that if I'm staying inside of my comfort zone. And, honestly, I recently discovered that I am in my comfort zone a little too much, and that I have to be a little bit uncomfortable. I have to push outside of that. So, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what you're doing, but like I said, there's a few things to change that. First off is be not conformed to this world. Don't conform to the pressure of life. Don't conform to the negativity. Don't conform to how life wants you to be. Don't conform to being lazy or procrastination or whatever it may be. Don't conform to those things, but instead be ye transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind. By the renewing of your mind. Why? So that we may know the perfect will of God. See, that is how we achieve perfection. It is a state of mind. We always strive for perfection. We always strive for improvement. It is a very, very important thing. That is the process whereby we change who become. It is a decision, and then it is a intentional transformation by the thoughts that we think. Our thoughts is the avenue by which transformation becomes, and that's how we change our mindset. That is how we change our identity, is by the thoughts that we think. We got to be very intentional about that. We got to feed those thoughts. We gotta like, if I wanted to become successful at I don't know, it can be anything. If I want to be good at playing a guitar, guess what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to start being consciously learning. I'm going to have to consciously practice. I'm going to have to change my mindset to I can't play this to I'm going to practice until I can play this. So I think it's very important that we have that mindset shift. So with that, I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day. I challenge you, if you got something to share, don't wait until things are perfect. Don't wait until you have a studio. Don't wait until you have a beautiful office. Don't wait until things are perfect in life. Don't wait until you're super successful. Just share what God has laid on your heart. And share from a place of vulnerability. In this world, there's so many people that when they talk about things, it is so unreal because it's not personal. It's not like, this is not who they really are. And I know that I fall into that trap a little bit in trying to portray things that I'm not really, I'm just a regular guy, and I love doing videos. I love talking about the Bible. Like, my whole mindset is, there's nothing more exciting than biblical business. Like, I love talking about the Bible and the concepts that are in there. And so, that's something that I, in the past week, that I've been really, really working on, is like being vulnerable, being, knowing where my identity is, knowing who I am, and just being real with that. So with that, I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day. We'll talk with you next time.